Alright, this is take 2. So let's just hope I get this correct. Now the reason why I'm trying not to cut too far into this district is I want to make sure that I don't get rid of that Democratic district. Because, like I said, I'm trying to favor this one towards the Democrats. And I think that's the best way to Ooh. Yeah, I know. YouTube is just being a complete Charlie Umbrella November Tango. Okay, we're just going to go with that one. Weirdly, the 2nd district is right here. And I may just kind of ignore the district locations at a certain point. There we go. Now let's just make this go a little bit faster. There we go. There we go, and we'll turn that back to the partisan lane. Honestly, I wouldn't be too shocked if Illinois State Legislature doesn't try to do something like this. I think they may run some risks if they do. Should I select it by county? Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. Do that. Ooh, no. Bad. Bad Ben. Bad Ben. I mean. Yeah, okay, so. Yeah. Oh no, it's going to get more gerrymandered. And I'm not just saying that because you know, I'm pessimistic. I really do think that it's going to be very difficult for Illinois to gerrymander or to get rid of a district without it being a Democratic district that they eliminate, if that makes any sense. Because the geography that the Democrats have in Illinois is kind of getting worse. Alright, so the 3rd is actually back in Chicagoland. And this is kind of the point I make in real life the second district doesn't extend nearly that far. All right, so the third district, I think I need to actually go back and select that. And I need to avoid very specific parts. Okay, for example, Hispanic, yeah. Actually, I'm going to draw the fourth right now. Because the fourth is the very famous headphones district. And that is, if I remember correctly, actually technically a VRA district, so it kind of needs to be preserved. The question is, how much of these neighborhoods do I need to get in order to make it so? Yeah. Okay, I may look into that. And if you can hear the cat in the background, say hi to Kai, everyone. I'll tell him after the stream. Again, I wish I could let him in here, but he would, to put it lightly, destroy any semblance of a good stream, because he would open up tabs, destroy the computer and all that stuff. He might actually shut down the computer. He's done that before. So, yeah, I wish I could let him in here, but the last time he was on stream was, I think, election night. And, yeah, he didn't behave himself very well. Actually, I'm shocked that the election night stream went as well as it did. So what was that dream about? Because that's kind of, well, I'm slightly genuinely curious. Okay, there. What's the fastest way? There we go. God, I feel really horrible for drawing this district, but if you want to blame someone for this district, blame the Illinois Democratic Party for this district. And this is why I think the vote. I'm not going to make this take, but genuinely speaking, I think if anybody wants to, claim that fascism exists in the United States, don't look at the Republican Party. Look at the people who support identity politics. Because they're pitting one ethnic group and one racial group against another. And that's textbook fascism. Still 50,000 behind, okay. I guess I can include this little neighborhood right here. Yeah. Jesus, this district is getting even worse than it is in real life, and that's kind of impressive. There we go. That's reasonable. Yes, I did vote for Joe Jurgensen. I mean, my confidence regarding Illinois in 2024 is I still consider it a safe state. But that's based off of confidence. In terms of margin, oh, that's actually really tough. I can see reasonable arguments, and just to make sure I know where districts are, I'm going to switch to this because I know this is going to be a very Democratic district. In terms of margin, it'll be under 20, but where in the 15 or where in the 13 to 18 range will it fall? I I would err on it being closer to 16 than to 14. But I wouldn't be too shocked if the Republicans really did improve, especially in rural Illinois, because they have a lot of ground to gain there. Um, and I'd argue that the Republicans have the most ground to gain in New York as well as Illinois, especially because both areas have a lot of rural territory that is reasonably highly populated, where they just don't do well, or more accurately, as well as they should, if that makes any sense. They can still fall a little bit in the suburbs, but not as much as I think Democrats and progressives think. Um, God, that fourth district is. Ugh. I'm not really saying that the Dems are fascist because not all Democrats support identity politics. I mean, fucking Joe Manchin, Kirsten Sinema are prime examples of that. I don't think anybody would say Joe Manchin is the perfect example of a. I don't think anybody would say Joe Manchin is, behind identity politics or anything. I mean, Republicans have been trying to get Joe Manchin to become a member of their party for years. I mean, really, 304.65. I mean, yeah, I could probably try to force myself to get within 100 on each district, but I'm giving myself 500 people to play with. That sounds incredibly dirty now that I think about that. We're going to move on. From that. Yeah, yeah, if you're bringing up race and ethnicity and culture and all that shit, I would say that, yeah, and that's kind of what I mean by identity politics, is separating, saying, well, if you're a certain race or a certain ethnicity, you have to vote a certain way. I definitely think that is the wrong way to look at politics. There's so much more to the way a person votes and a way a person evaluates policy than the color of their skin or what sort of neighborhood they grew up in. You know. Okay, I have to stop there because any more and that's over. We're going to go to the third. I actually think the third is in this general vicinity here. I have to be somewhat careful in this because I need to give myself enough of a cushion around these really thin portions of this VRA district. Okay, I think that is good enough to turn the brush all the way up. Alrighty. And thank you. Now, I'm not going to say anything about the fact that this stream is continuing. Goodness gracious me. I always forget how tiny, or, you know, how few people are actually in each of these little precincts and, you know, large urban centers. Now, I don't want people to say that, you know, I'm going crazy or that I'm trying to say that New York or Illinois are trending to the right. I think there needs to be a lot more evidence before you establish whether a trend is happening or not. You know. And I don't think one cycle proves anything. Not only is that excessively reductionist, but it kind of ignores the reality that sometimes candidate matters. And the truth is, candidate does matter. Especially the more competitive an election is. And 2020 was a surprisingly competitive election, especially given the media narrative that's going to be around it. You know, everybody says, oh, Trump got dealt a decisive victory. Like, I'm sorry. Trump lost by fewer votes overall than Clinton did in 2016. And the reason I say that is because in the United States, we have this little thing called the electoral. And in the states that would have given Trump enough electoral college votes to throw it to the House, which would have voted for him, by the way, because Republicans still maintain a majority of congressional delegations. Yeah, Trump lost by fewer votes than Clinton did overall, because I think it was like 80,000 votes. 80,000 votes in 2016 across Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin was the margin that Trump won by. And in Arizona, Wisconsin, Georgia, Biden carried by like 60,000-ish combined. And I think it was actually fewer than that. Alan, I don't honestly have. I think the voter fraud claims are a bit excessive. Okay, we can change this back to the partisan lean and go there. Yeah. Now I should probably, and for the sake of my own sanity, I'm going to do this. Should probably assign the water well, I've assigned the water precinct, so and I really dislike the idea of water precincts, but they are necessary in a large number of cases, because at the end of the day, sometimes you have islands that you have to connect to the mainland somehow, and the truth is, a water precinct is quite often the only way you can do this. Okay. Go. Now let's just smooth out these borders. On this district. Just because I don't like it being so jagged. And that looks a little bit better. Get rid of that. Go here. That's perfect. Oh, please. Another Trump president? Oof. Honestly, that wouldn't shock me if Trump was on the spectrum. We'll use that phrase. Okay, there's no way all of Cook County is going to be... Okay. Need to figure out a way to make this work. Okay, so... we're going to turn up the brush here and do that. That's what I wanted. Turn that back. Alrighty. I think this, plus a little bit of cleaning up on the edges, should make this work. I mean, this doesn't look ugly. It's not the prettiest district I've ever made, but I'd be hard pressed to say that it's, you know, god awful. Wow, I went over it. $68. I can live with that. Okay. All right. Now we need to get here. And let's extend it out over to here. Yeah, that's kind of the issue that I think is gonna befall some of this map. I can't wait till they add presidential election result or data from 2020. Okay, next one is the 9th. Now watch this. This is gonna go from extremely red to very, 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 very deep blue very quickly. As soon as we clear up some of this section. I wonder if we add in just the rest of Cook County. What'll happen there? And there's still one district. Yeah, one little precinct. I'm actually going to switch to precinct and erase there. That's actually less blue than I thought it would be. But I suspect that's because we've gotten rid of all the very Democratic sections of Cook County. And you're left with the more swingy parts. Let's see. Now, I generally dislike the way precincts and stuff works in Midwestern cities. But you can kind of keep track of everything because a lot of Midwestern states are based off of the township and the Northwest Ordinance design of land surveying. Yeah, Alan. I watch a lot of sports. I'm big into motorsport, so I watch F1, I watch rallying when I can. I haven't watched NASCAR in years, if I'm 100% honest with you. Part of that is because I lost interest when Dale Earnhardt passed. The other problem is that I think NASCAR, it got too gimmicky for me. I'm a massive fan of I'm massive. I like watching American football. I watch a lot of, specifically a lot of college sports. Okay, that doesn't quite work. And specifically, I am a big fan of University of Georgia for college football. I'm trying to think. Baseball, I watch the Atlanta Braves. And yes, this past season was very disappointing in the sports front. Other sports, I'm a massive fan of. Well, I like track and field, but that's because I ran track and field in high school. I was a pole vaulter. Though I wasn't exceptional at it. My personal best was 12'6" in a meet. I did 13 foot in practice once. The Obama kids aren't doing anything. I'm going to leave that joke on the table that I was about to tell. There. Alrighty. I would say any other sports I enjoy watching. I guess winter sports, I like watching winter biathlon. Um, I'm interested in getting into some of the shooting sports, simply because I like to target shoot and all that stuff, but I've never really had the ability to get involved in competition shooting. Three gun is probably the area I have the most interest in, just because I'm interested to see if I could do reasonably well. Though I suspect not. Alrighty. Okay, come on. Start sending your data. Thank you, OBS. Yeah, uh, I'm not entirely convinced by the Chelsea Clinton fan club. If that, if I can say that with a straight face. Um, I think Bill was the only one who could be considered electable out of that family, and that was almost exclusively because he was able to appeal to well, people who weren't ultra cuckoo for Cocoa Puff liberals. I think from doing this, I'm almost positive I can do this. Okay. I mean, that's... Oops.